Hello, and welcome back to Baba Is You. Today, I think we'll start with the other puzzle. So I'm still... as far as I can tell... Oh. Okay, maybe we won't start the other puzzle. As far as I can tell, there are only two things I have left to do. There's... It's water. I wonder if there is a way to get Dust's level. This Dust seems very suspicious to me. But there does not appear to be any way to get, like, Dust is level. I can't get the level off the end here. Same with water. I could get rock. I could go Dust is rock, but I don't think I can do Dust is rock and then... Or, Dust is stop and rock. And then get the rock back to make rock is level afterwards. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Alright. So I was actually planning on doing the other thing, but then I pushed the rock into the water, and then I did it again, so I guess we're back here. Alright, so looking at this again, it has been a couple of days. Hopefully that'll be enough time for me to not just run in circles and actually try something new. But I think I need to start this over again from the beginning. I have... Wall is stop. Okay, wall is stop. Flag is win. Kiki is you. Belt is shift. Skull is defeat. Skull facing Kiki is move. Well, just looking at all of those rules, I'm not seeing anything that I might have overlooked. I mean, I know that if I step on this skull, it's not going to move, but that doesn't matter because... Okay, well... Is there a way... Yeah, I'm just trying to think about this, what this rule could imply. If, for example, this belt was on this position, facing to the right, if I step on it, I would move here, Skull would move here, but then Skull would be shifted and move back onto me, probably. So I think that would still be... that would not help, having the belt in that position. If there was a way to make Kiki float or something like that, then having Kiki on the belt, I could move here, have the skull move under me without me actually moving. There's this is push, which is very, very suspicious. More for the push than for the is. But literally the only thing I can make push is the belt. because if I make text push, that's kind of meaningless. Text is push is already a default rule for text. So text is push does nothing. So push, the only thing it could possibly do is belt. Well, barring, I suppose. I mean, if I could get level is push, that might have some interesting things that it can do, but in order for me to get anything up to level is push other than weak, I would have to... Yeah, I would have to have already gotten through this mess. Alright, how about this weak keyword? Is it possible for me to do anything with this other than... Like, the assumption I've been running with is that I need to push weak over here, and then I need something to go up this way that is going to... push the weak out of the way. Is there any other way I can possibly get weak out of the way? If I have text is weak, I could possibly destroy the weak keyword, but because of where it's located here, I don't have access. When I have text is weak, I don't have access to weak. Could I use the belt? Could I use the belt to set up a situation? Well, even if I set up something fancy here where I have text is and I'm on the is tile pushing weak this way, it won't break the weak, it'll just move it. And then once I push it that way, I can't... Like, I can push weak over as much as I want, and then form a rule using weak at the end of it. But the problem is that no matter what I form, I don't have access to the weak keyword after having done it. Okay, so again, weak. What can I make weak? Well, level is weak we know is not a good thing to do, because that just breaks everything. Text is weak, allows us to destroy text. The only thing I've found that that's useful for at the moment is to extract push from here. Because as it is, with this setup, I would need to sacrifice either the is or the push in order to get the other of those two out. So text is weak allows me to do that. The only other object I have here is belt. Belt is weak. I don't see that helping me at all. Because if the belt is destroyed, then what has it really done for me? If I had... Hypothetically, if I had belt is weak and belt is push at the same time, I could move the belt under a skull, but then it's not also shift, because belt, I only have one belt. I can't go belt is weak and belt is shift and belt is push all at the same time. Okay, so if you get rid of the push rule, because if belt is weak and belt is shift, what then happens if I step onto the belt? I think the belt just breaks before I do anything. That would be consistent with defeat, Like, skull is defeat. Well, if skull was also weak, it wouldn't matter. I could step onto the skull and it would be broken. So belt is weak, does not seem to be useful. Other combination. So that is weak. Text is weak, lets me do that. Belt is weak, does not seem useful. Shift. Belt is shift. Well, that's easy enough to conceptualize. That's the default assumption for belt. Usually when you have belts in a room, there's also the ability for belts to move things. We also have the ability to make text is shift. Using belt is shift or text is shift, we can move the skulls around. Is there anything else that we could do with these if they were shift? Well, if we had belt is shift and text is shift at the same time, and we had a block of text on the belt, we would have a system that would continuously move itself forward every turn. Okay. Okay, I think that's an insight there. So if weak was pushed over here, and then I had a belt here facing up, or possibly not even facing up, depending on the order, whether the text or the belt moves acts first. Well, I think they might both just shift into different locations if they weren't facing the same way. Regardless, we bring the belt in here, we can push it around, we can get the belt facing up here. If we have the belt facing up here, with text on it, and we have belt is shift, and text is shift, then it will move up by itself and push the weak out of the way. Okay. I think that gives us something to try that we haven't done yet. Now, immediate problem that I see with this. The position of shift is really awkward. If I want this shift out of the way... Okay, well, first of all, like, text is belt. Text is belt. We don't want to do that, because that just nukes all the text in the level, and then we can't move anymore. Belt is text is something I was trying a lot in order to get this thing to move around. Once I do that, the problem is I can never actually have a belt, because then I would need belt is text. I need text is belt to get it back, and I don't have text on something is belt. I don't have an on keyword, which means that I have to transform all the text at once. So the belt cannot be transformed into text and then back into a belt. I do not have that capability, which means that if I want to move this, I need the push in order to move it. So we need belt is push in order to move the belt. Okay. Belt is shift. Now with this shift in this place, it's really awkward because I cannot have, text is shift coming up above it. Which means we're only going to have one, which means that we can never have two things being shifted at the same time. So now I'm thinking that I do want to go belt is text, but only when I have text on top of the belt already, and that way I get two pieces of text stacked on top of each other, which means again that I don't actually need push now. Get two pieces of text stacking on top of each other, because then I just go text is shift, and they will shift each other along. Alright, so the goal now is to have stacking text, and the ability to form text is shift. And if I can do that, then I think I've actually solved this. Okay. Wow, that was a very productive little session there, so let's see if that's possible to do. And also get rid of that depressing atmospheric music. I don't know, it's helping me to concentrate. Okay, so goal is text on top of the belt. When we go, belt is text. Is there anything here we can sacrifice? Now we do have to sacrifice one of these bits of text in order to get through here. Is the obvious candidate here because we need belt and we need shift. We don't need belt. Well, hold on. We don't actually need that belt. Okay, we can do that. So that belt is useless for us now, because now we just want text is shift. That. Alright, so we got that through. Now there are some problems with this. Obviously we could get this out of the way if we had made text as weak at some point before doing text as shift. I'm just going to level his belt. Hooray, we now have a belt. Looks kind of funny with the outline. Okay, so we've made the level into a belt. This is progress. We don't want it to be a belt though, because as I mentioned last time, on that map there is no belt rule, so it being a belt is completely useless. But no, this was really good progress. Okay, so next, let's do that. What we did again, but this time the goal is to get level as text. And from here, the problem is getting that text back. If we have text is shift, right? So we solved the first part of this, but now we have to be able to do that while getting text into this row and being able to get this back. So if at some point we go text is shift with, I think I had an extra is this whole time, right? Well, if I do this, I have an extra is. Okay, if I push this over and do that, and also push this is down, we need text is shift. Thing is, we need text is weak. Text is weak gets us another is. Okay, no, why am I doing this over here? If I do this over here... Oh, no. I don't want that over yet. I don't want that over yet, because I have to get the text in here first. You know, I just did this, you'd think. Okay. So we get the double up here. Now... Right, this is the is that we can use. Text is weak. Okay, here we go. Text is... Oh, okay, that's a problem. Right, of course, that would... Well... Okay, no, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. All the way to... Oops, there. Okay, well the problem with that is that now we don't have enough is's. Okay. Can I do this over here? The problem with this is now shift is in a terrible spot. And if we go text is weak... Yeah, no. Right, so the problem I'm having is now I'm trying to extract text out of this. Text is shift. The other problem is, once I go belt is text, I cannot then go text is weak to destroy the belt. I don't think I need to go text is weak. I mean, if I do that... If I break it this way, I can go text is weak. In order to get myself another is. This is awkward. This gets me the belt is text, and I still have text is shift. Ah, and with text is shift, this gets the skull out of the way. Okay, this was it. This was it. Because now if I do belt is shift, doesn't matter. I want text is shift. This skull is now facing in a different direction. This is going to move onto the skull. Out of the way. I can now extract the text. Wait a minute. There is a flaw with this this whole plan. Right, I can't come back down here. Okay. That turned the skull, right? I think it did. Now, if only I could have moved this again. Okay, we're not quite done. Well, we are getting places, though. Is there a way I could turn this around once it gets to the end? Shift doesn't work that way. It would need to be move. Well, let's just undo and see this process play out. Right, it's going to keep doing that. Nothing I can do about it. There's not really any way I could have moved this around. Oh! Okay. There we go. Take off the move, take off the move. I'm glad that I saw that. Weak is text, that's not going to matter. And there we go, level is text. Okay. Finally. Finally, crushers. Level. We now have a level keyword here. What did we want to do with this? There's a whole bunch of things we could have done with this. Rock is level, immediately comes to mind. Baba is level, would get rid of the problems I'm having there. Yeah, I think I need to use this rock to get out of here, don't I? I mean, I could push this around, and then... Yeah, it's not gonna matter. Okay, fine, we'll do that. So we'll go Baba is level. And I guess that means... Well, okay, we can access those. We can also, this also gives us access to this. Collaborative effort. Okay, so now we have a bunch of stuff to do. And this one, buried treasure, I can't actually get through that though. Well, the next in sequence was 4. And once we have access to this, I think it'll make a line here, which will make maneuvering around this a lot easier. Then we go Baba is... Couldn't I have just gone Baba is rock this whole time and just gotten past the Babas that way? Rock is not push, you can go through the rock. I could have had this key a long time ago. I didn't need this. Hold on, is that true? No, I couldn't access the rock keyword. Okay. Okay. No, so that's what the grass is for. We go Baba is grass. We can get through the Babas without. Okay. Okay. This whole hub is starting to make sense. Well, this is exciting. Okay, so we go Baba is level. Not because we want to play the Baba levels just yet, but because we do not want the Baba to be Baba. Okay, collaborative effort. Well, no more music. It's always a little bit unsettling. There's a lot going on in here. Okay, there is music. It's just... Flag is win. Lava is defeat. Wall is stop. Skull is defeat. Text is pull. Baba is you. The jury is still out on whether this qualifies as music. I am not sure. Okay, there we go. Now it is now officially music. 3 notes. Alright, text is pull. There's all sorts of crazy things you can do with that. We have 2 Babas. Skulls are bad. We don't want to touch those. Text is pull. It doesn't mean that text isn't push, right? Yeah, we can still push it. It just means that there is potential for craziness. Now, what this looks like, this is a very cool little mechanism. Because this suggests to me that we're able to swap back and forth between... Because, funnily enough, this reminds me of Iconoclasts. There's a boss fight in that one with... I don't even remember. Robin and... What was that? What's the other character's name? I don't even remember. Man, I need to play Iconoclasts again. Mina? It might have been Mina. Yeah, there's this boss fight where you're swapping back and forth between them. This little setup just reminded me of that. Alright, so now we are Kiki. We have two Kikis. We have the skull here. Text is pull. So we can use this to get skull into this position. Does that help? Immediately I noticed that I can get the Baba through if I wanted to. But no, having... oh, well that's... If I wanted to, well, that would be a reason to do it, wouldn't it? Now I can do that. Because text is pull. Oh dear. Okay, no, let's not. Let's go up first. Man, this Baba's in trouble now. Okay, that's a surprisingly complicated little mechanism. Oh, no! Okay, fine, we'll do it that way. Get that Baba out of the way. Although, really, I mean, all I have to do is that, and then text is no longer pull, it's not an issue. So skull is text, I have a feeling that's not going to work very well. But we could go skull is pull. And with skull is pull, let's get you there so you're not mucking with anything. Okay, well we can sort of get something. It doesn't get us all the way there though. Well, actually, I mean, it could. We just have to pull them in another direction. Okay, if we go skull is sink, no, we need these skulls over one more. So that when we do this, we are not skull is sink. Okay, but we don't want skull is pull anymore. That's a problem. That is a problem. We don't have a way of dealing with that, do we? Oh, why did I sacrifice that Kiki? If I had skull is pull, that's not quite gonna do it, but if I pulled a skull into this position, I could then sink pull in it. Okay, I sacrificed a Kiki I didn't need to at the very beginning. At the very beginning, I overlooked something. Okay. Right, what did I overlook? Well, I can push the skull. I don't need... okay. Well, that's a little bit of an issue, though, isn't it? Okay, well, if we do that, we still get it over. Okay. So now we're in the same spot as we were before, only we still have this Kiki alive. In this situation... let's go skull is pull. Okay, we got the skulls out of the way. It doesn't matter if... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. It doesn't matter if the skull is pull or... sorry, is defeat or sink, as long as it's pull. You can still do... Oops, stuff like that. Right. Oh, and it's pull, so we can't... Okay, but the problem now is we can't change into Kiki. Interesting. Okay, we got Kiki through. So now we can do... Wait, with skull as pull... Right, we can't push... Now, this skull is pull rule is turning out to be quite the problem. Because if skull is pull... So how do we disrupt that? This is a really neat format for this room. I'm quite liking what I see. But skull is pull... is not breakable. That's the problem. In order to break skull is pull, I have a keyword, a text keyword that I'm not exploiting to its full potential, potentially. I could go, like, skull is text. If I go skull is text and text is pull, I can still move all the skulls around. Okay, I don't know why I dismissed that option right away. The problem is because I don't have another is. And the other problem is if I go skull as text with this, I don't have a way of getting past it. Yes, I do. I have to have one of Kiki or Baba pull the text keyword on top of the other, and then swap characters to get past it. Okay. So maybe this will work. Go skull as text. We still need text to be pull. We don't have enough is words for that. Well, it lets me break the rule that way, I suppose. Oh. Well, no, I can just break skull is pull that way. When I don't want it to be pull anymore. Right, because if text is pull, I can just break text as pull whenever I want by becoming Kiki. Okay, let's get you over there. Let's do this again. So we want skull as sink. Right, the problem here is that I want... I need to set this up in such a way that the Kiki... well... we can just push that over twice, right? Or once, twice. And then from here, we should be able to safely push that twice. Yeah, okay, wow. No, this is really neat. So now... you move that way, it breaks the rule. And then we have two Babas with the skull as sink. There we go. Beautiful. Wow. Amazing. I really like that one. That was a great puzzle. Really neat interactions there. As expected, it does link these together, although... that doesn't actually let the skull get through here without... okay, so it doesn't quite do what I wanted, but it did solve a puzzle. Okay, well, that's a huge relief. We've made some progress again. It's not... I know it's only coming up on 50 minutes, but I think... yeah, while I still have this, this good feeling before I risk wrecking it by getting into something else and getting stuck that I'm not going to have enough time to really look at anyway, I think I'm just going to call it there for now, and we'll continue with Living Lands in the next part. I will see you then.